Hello and welcome back to my daily stream. My name is Doña, aka Doña the Light, and this is my husband Grover. I dragged him into my stream today and we're going to talk about things. If you're catching this stream live on Twitch, please feel free to contribute in the chat, share your thoughts, opinions, agreements, disagreements, etc. If you're catching this replay on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's a free way to support my channel. If you're interested in supporting me in other ways, I have merch that you can purchase. You can buy things I've made, sort of. Kind of. If you're new here, this is going to essentially play like a podcast. Visually, nothing is going to be happening other than us speaking to each other. So, in an effort to help me beat the YouTube algorithm, watch it. I mean, not watch it. Listen to it. Let it play. Put it on in the background while you're doing whatever, and let it play. I always forget to put on chapstick before I actually start speaking. But today we're going to be discussing, is it possible to overcome a fear of failure? Is it? Fergie's here. Fergie's in the chat. Good morning, Fergie. We're here. We're alive. In the flesh, sort of.
Forgive me, I'm still waking up a little bit.
Husband is still asleep, but it's okay. Let's make that just a little bit bigger. It still looks small.
Make it bigger.
Yeah, then it's gonna go over here. See?
How much?
Oh, not that much. That's okay. I probably should have just. Anyways, good morning, Fergie. Thank you for being here. If y'all are looking for additional safe spaces to exist and be yourself, as well as watch some amazing sim content, please follow Fergie. She's amazing and I love her.
Yeah, her Sims is like a show.
I'm happy to be here. Also, of course, yeah, I don't know why it's not popping you up. But my husband is on Twitch too. He's a producer and a musical genius. I was like, I can't shout you out. Of course, Fergie. Of course, of course. He's a producer and a musical genius. So, if y'all want to... Oh, the guinea pigs. If y'all want to consume some wonderful musical content, something that will blow your mind, something that will not compare to any other music you've ever heard, check it out. His stream does not typically consist of baby coughs, but, you know, maybe in there, here and there. All right. When it comes to today's topic, is it possible to overcome a fear of failure? You want to start us off, Faye? You want to tell us what a fear of failure, what does that feel like to you as a person?
I mean, it's pretty simple for me, because I've had it for pretty much my whole life, but fear of failure is, in my opinion, the fear of finding out what the consequences by not being successful at something that you believe that you should be successful at.
Mm-hmm.
Being afraid to actually not be successful at something, or know what it feels like to not be successful at something. So you avoid the possibility as much as you can of the failure by making excuses for why you won't, usually why you won't act on something, or why you won't do something, or try, or at least try, or at least put your full effort in it, because if you put your full effort in it and then it doesn't work, then you're afraid of that feeling after that. So, yeah, that's a fear of failure.
That makes sense. And essentially, in the way that you described it, which I resonate with too, fearing whatever is on the other side of failure, that unknown aspect, causes you to not act at all, or to basically limit yourself, you know? And this is something that Grover and I both struggle with, and it's an ongoing battle. It's definitely the most consistent part of my healing journey, this idea that, what if it doesn't work? What if I put in my all and it doesn't work? What if I do all the things that everyone tells me to do and it doesn't work? What if I follow all the rules and it doesn't work? And oftentimes we don't even get to the point where we're following all the rules, because let's say there's 10 rules, we get to rule number 3 and then we think, what if it doesn't work? And we don't even allow ourselves to continue to pursue, because we've already convinced ourselves that whatever is on the other side of failure is worse. We're also tricking ourselves into believing that we will fail. We are, what's the word? We're cultivating this mindset that tells us there's no point in continuing because there's a possibility that you will fail. But the honest truth is there's always a possibility that you will fail. Always. I mean, you attempt a math problem, there's a possibility that you will fail. You, have a conversation with your child, there's a possibility that you will fail. There's always a possibility of failure. But I believe that one of the best ways to conquer this is to take risks and try, because if you're not used to failure, it's going to feel even scarier. Fergie says, I have this fear a lot. I have chosen to not do something because of being ashamed of possibly failing. Exactly. And then, Fergie, you bring up a really good point. That feeling of shame associated with failure, right? So we've talked about the fact that guilt says to us that I have done bad things. Shame says to us that we are a bad person, and so shame is a lot more personal, and it's because of that it's a lot more difficult to shake.
Yeah. Right?
So do you feel that it's guilt or shame that you have that's associated with not wanting to fail?
I don't know if it's shame anymore or guilt. It could be one or the other. I've always had that, what's it called? That whole, just the associated fear of, like, when you have a certain amount of confidence within yourself, like some people have a hard time even gaining that much confidence within themselves, so they're afraid to gain a lot of confidence in the ability to do something, or albeit, and then all of a sudden when it does not work the way that they planned it or I planned it to work, then that affects my psyche or my ego at the time. So I feel like it's more not wanting to face my ego.
What is your ego saying to you?
Because it's not really a shame thing. I don't think really outside sources too much anymore. But I still think about, like, when it comes to music, like, what do other people think? So maybe that's not shame. Maybe that's guilt.
Or maybe something else?
Yeah, or something else, because it's more like when you feel like you're just as good as someone else, when in reality we are anyway, like, that you're afraid to feel like any less than that, or put yourself in a situation where you feel you might end up feeling less than that. I feel like that comes from having lower self-esteem in the past.
Okay.
And lower self-esteem in the past, and trying to fight the whole, like, self-esteem thing. Yeah, self-esteem issues.
So it sounds like it's more, you don't want to fail because you know that you shouldn't, or you don't want to fail because you have in the past, or you don't want to fail because you don't want to fail because, and
I feel in the past, for sure.
I mean, not wanting to fail is definitely natural. It's not something that we desire because of the fact that we associate it with something being wrong, right? But the reality is, failing is a good thing because it means that you tried. Failing just means that you have to make some tweaks, that you have to make some changes, that you have to reevaluate and see, what step was missed. It doesn't mean that every single aspect of the effort that you put forth is now, in the trash can and completely, needs to get thrown away and revamped and done completely over. Typically, it's just a small part that needs to be redone. But to us, it's the former, where if we fail, everything that we've done up to this point is just complete garbage. And I believe that's the mindset, that the part of the mindset that we have to shift is looking at failure as a necessity, as something that has to happen. Because even if we succeed in other people's standards, there are still areas in which we have failed. Fergie says, I tend to have this unhealthy way of comparing myself to others, looking at how easy things might have been for them and thinking, why isn't it easy for me? I must have done something wrong, or I'm just a trash person because it isn't easy for me. Fergie, I want to tell you, first and foremost, you are not a trash person, not realizing that it is even like that. Right. But I hear you. I completely hear you. And, excuse me, I think I spoke about it on stream once, but I was definitely telling Grover about it. Must have been in like November, because it was before I started doing these daily streams. I was telling him how, every time we get into this financial pinch of just being really, really tight on funds, I start thinking to myself, what can I do right now to make more money? What can I do right now? What's a quick get rich quick scheme that I could hop on and make a couple grand in like 3 days? Which of course it doesn't exist, aside from like, illegal shit. So I was gonna contact someone about selling life insurance, because I'm like, well, that should be pretty easy. I can do it from home. It should be pretty lucrative. And then I had to pause and think to myself, how many times, even just since meeting Grover, even since the beginning of our relationship, how many times have I started something and not continued?
Me too.
Yeah, we do it together. We do it separately. And I had to pause and realize that I've done it a lot. And then I had to really kind of sit with myself and say, okay, what prevents me from continuing to move forward after I start an endeavor? And the honest truth is, believing that my success should happen more quickly, or like Fergie mentioned, that it should be really easy because so-and-so, which whoever I'm comparing myself to, I definitely don't have the full, complete picture or understanding of what their journey even looked like. But all I can go by is, my perception of, what I see on social media, conversations that I have with this person. So I dig myself into a ditch, a couple weeks in or a couple months in, saying, this isn't working. I probably should try something else. And like Fergie mentioned, sometimes I blame it on myself. This isn't working because I'm doing something wrong. And the truth is, I am doing something wrong. I'm not continuing. There's no part of anything that we do that's going to happen instantly. We have to be consistent, and we have to show ourselves that discipline is what's most important. Not being motivated to do something, but doing it because you made a commitment to yourself. Fergie says, I've started so many things only to say, time to move on to something else. There we go, you're preaching to the choir. Grover and I have done so many things. And, as creative people...
How many jobs I've had? Like,
it's so easy to do.
So I get bored.
But what is that? Describe what that boredom looks and feels like.
Because I'll be in a job, and then I'll move up the ladder as much as I can from where I'm at, and then I start noticing time jumps between positions, or I'll see that there's like position locks, which means that like someone's gonna have to die before that position's ever open.
Right.
And then like for me, I'm young. It's not like I can't like go up the bar again. So then I just leave and then go get another job. And then I go up the bar again, and then I basically end up in the same situation where I'm like, okay, well, these people are holding on to this job for dear life.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Right. Literally dear life.
And so like, I'm like, even if I was the best worker here, I won't get this job unless this person dies, and that's at least 5, 6, 7, 10 years.
Right.
So, do I want to work here 10 years or not? And then I leave. The truth is, like, if I would have stayed at a few of the jobs that I had, or a few of the companies I had, even if I didn't see movement in a certain amount of years within those companies, I'm sure within now I'd probably be doing a whole lot better.
Financially?
But, yeah, financially. But who's to say I'd be better mentally? So it's kind of hard because it's like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I know consistency leads to growth pretty much in anything. Like, that's really the thing that holds us back, is our own ability to be consistent based off of sometimes fear of failure, belief in ourselves, belief that, like, hey, if I really just put my all into this, like, it should work, right?
Yeah.
Like it should work, right? Like, for instance, like, I've been making music for so long, and it's literally because I'll do it, and I'll do it for years, and then I'll get upset with the result because it's not happening fast enough to me. And then and that's the funny part too, like, when you know you're good at something, you don't want to feel any less than you're not good at it. So it's like, I know I'm good at it, so like I'll make excuses. If I just had this thing, it'll work out. If I just had this, it'll work.
Right.
If I just do this, it'll work.
Right.
Not necessarily always the case. Most of the time not. It's usually me trying to say, like, the only reason that it's not working is because I don't have this. When in reality, I've already had the skill to make things work. And within my lifetime of making music, I have made music in some really messed up times. It still came out with stuff, and people don't, you don't know what someone's normally going through when they're creating or writing and stuff like that, So I think it's really funny how the more motivated I am, there's not really much of anything that could really stop me from doing anything, ever. And I had to come to that realization that, like, the only thing that's really ever stopped me from doing anything was me.
Right.
Like, 100%. Because the second I'm like, you know what, I need money, or you know what, I need this, I go and get it. It just happens. Like,
right. Yeah. And it's coming to those realizations that the times that you have actually needed something, you made it happen. Fergie says, it's supposed to work is what I tell myself. Bless you. Thank you, Voltaire, and welcome in. Facts. I used to adjust myself saying that in situations. Good morning, Brushocks. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Yes, and I love that you mentioned, that thought of, if only I had this, then it would work. Because that kind of ties into, hashtag capitalism here in the United States of America. Because they're always selling some sort of tool that's supposed to, just the fact that you can go on the internet and find hundreds of types of everything. Hundreds of types of baby nail clippers. Hundreds of types of scissors. Hundreds of types of, literally anything. Keyboards. Anything. That's an issue. Because every single item is marketed to a person in a different way, or a different person in a different way. And often it's really meant to make us believe, hey, you could be a great musician if only you had a better microphone, or if only you had a better what's that thing that you need to put around it to capture the sound? The sound shield. If only you had a sound shield, or a better sound shield. You could be a better life coach if only you had better training, or if only you had better advertising, or whatever. So, but just like he said, the only thing that ever really stops us in a situation is ourselves. Yeah. Because even if we are in a situation in which we can't physically do something, like if you're in a situation where you're creating music and you don't physically have a keyboard, you don't physically have, a pencil, a pen, an audio interface, whatever, to make the beats or do the things that you've done before, you can still gather information, you can still write lyrics. You can still do a lot in that meantime And in doing those things that you can do in that time, when it becomes available to you to do more, then you can do more. But I really believe that we have to get better at allowing ourselves to just kind of be where we are and just do what we can in that moment. You know, if more things are available to you, then you'll be able to do more. But if you're not willing to take the risk and try some new creative things where you're in, you know, weird, sticky in between spots, then, you know, your ability to remain consistent is going to be shot.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, you have to put yourself in positions, like in position to, like, be successful in the first place too. Like for a long time, like I was like, I can't do this and this and that, so I can't really work on music, and it's because based off of inspiration. Like if I'm not inspired, like I can't. Like this can't write, I can't produce. It doesn't work. It just doesn't. Nothing comes out. And then inspired, everything comes out. So I started to realize like a lot of my music that was really, really good came out in times where I wasn't comfortable. Or I wasn't, because basically what you would be hearing is the energy of, basically you be hearing struggle, like struggle to in order to like come up with some type of result mentally, and that in itself creates amazing things on itself. So I came to this realization when I was at work. I'm like, yeah, like, so I'm supposed to be making music, you know, when like during those times I really don't feel like making it, or I really don't feel like it's supposed to be working, or really like, or like, because that's the type of stuff that will allow me to work through both having like a motivation or inspiration, or having inspiration and not having inspiration, and working more based off of motivation of what I want for the future of what I do and my family and me and stuff like that. So
Right.
it was me coming to that realization that you know, like you are what you are, and I was kind of comparing myself to so many different people, not continuously coming back to understanding that like all I have to do is basically be the best version of me. No one's asking me to be another this person, that person. Everyone likes like who they like or what they like, usually because that person is either being a version of their authentic self or being their authentic self when it comes to music, because you can hear it. You can hear when someone's just being them. Yeah. So yeah, like it's like a slow break of the fear of failure, because it's at the point where I'm like, well, failure is subjective, and learning, all the failure that I've had in the past 16, 17 years of making music has made me a better musician. Like when I first was being a musician, I used to sing. I didn't make any beats. I didn't do any of that stuff. And then I couldn't find beats because I couldn't afford it. So I started making my own beats. Then my beats weren't that good. They were garbage. They were garbage for a long time, for years. And then I kept doing that, and then started making really, really good beats. Like now I can really, really produce. But I took so much time producing that I stopped writing. So it's not that I can't write anymore so much as back in the day I used to write all the time. And that was my skill set. So instead of feeling failure of not being able to write again, I started writing again. I write at work. I write on my breaks. I write on my phone now all the time. And instead of looking at things as a setback or a reason why I can't get things done, I kind of meet myself where I'm at, and I'm like, okay, well now I can work on lyrics because I can't work on beats right now. I'm at work, or I'm here, or I'm at home, and a lot of stuff is going on, so I can't work on beats right now because my brain can't do it. But It's like, what, I could do this. I could promote the song here. I could make art here. Like, because all the stuff that an artist normally needs on their team to do, I didn't have. So I realized all that failure at the age of 34, I can graphically create my own album art. I can make my own and produce my own beats, mix and master, record my music, write like lyrics. I basically turned myself into like some type of real musical like process. Like I can do all of it.
Yeah, you're a one-man team.
Yeah, but and it took a long time to be able to do that. But without that failure and taking the time to actually consistently change things, yeah, like, you know, like that failure actually became lessons, and those lessons made me better.
Yeah.
And without that failure, I definitely would not be the artist I am now. So.
Oh goodness.
The fear of failure was, it always held me back from doing more than I could. But any confidence that I did have in myself to continuously work had helped build me. So I feel breaking that fear, or at least working on breaking that fear, definitely will help you achieve things that you already are deserving of and able to get in the first place. It's just, you just have to believe it for yourself, you know.
Yeah. Let me catch up on chat real quick. So Brushocks had said, I haven't really felt failure a whole heck of a lot until I lost everything when my house blew up.
There you go.
Yo, July of 2021. Good morning, Raylene. Thank you for being here.
Wow.
And now it's almost front and center on a near daily basis. Brushocks, if you feel like it, can you tell us a little bit more about that? And then Raylene agreed when you said that fear is very subjective. Voltaire said, I felt failure with my last relationship. We were engaged and it didn't work, so I felt like I was a failure. But that feeling that pushed me in a direction now, personally, where I've grown so much, just needed to be in the right situation. And sometimes we were too entangled to see it. Raylene says, I feel that. It's so hard to continue with music when it sounds so bad at the beginning. And Raylene's a musician as well. Good morning, Yama. Thank you for being here, Boo Boo Bear. Thank you all for being in here. Yeah, working on the fear is huge. It's hard, though. Yes, it is. It's really difficult.
It's taking years. It's taking over.
Yeah, and I mean, just being able to...
That's still doing
I know, Raylene. I saw that you got your mug. If anybody else wants to get some merch, y'all better hit this shop up. Y'all better support me. Look, support me and Raylene because our birthday's next week. We got the same birthday. It's legit. It's legit. All right. Crud. But just going through, right? So my husband's ability to, thank you. If you want to buy, look, I need y'all to get some merch. Support me on my birthday. But yes, it's Capricorn season. If y'all haven't done so already, a really wonderful way, and I mean, this is a part of what Diana and I were speaking about the other day, as far as embracing different parts of your journey, right? Because we all have different journeys that we're going through. I have an ongoing academic journey that who knows when it'll end. I'm on a healing journey. I'm on a parenthood journey. I'm on my own personal journey of just like living life. You know, Grover has all of the same, as well as his journey as a musician, right? So there's so many aspects of being a musician. Like, just think about it. If a child were to tell you, I think I want to get into music when I'm older. You know, when my students used to tell me, I think I want to play basketball when I'm older. I think I want to do something with basketball. I would ask them so many different questions. You know, what aspect of basketball? Do you want to be a coach? Do you want to play? Do you want to be a sports agent? Do you want to be a recruiter? You know what I mean? So every single field has multiple different aspects. So what Grover really explained is, you know, taking the time to learn every single aspect of what contributed to his musical journey. You know what I mean? First he started off writing, then he moved to producing, and it was turd, but something in him saw something that gave him the push to just keep going. And it wasn't like people were like, yo, this shit's so sick, like you just started producing a week ago and it's so hard. No, we know it wasn't that.
For the first like
it wasn't outside praise.
Yeah, for the first like 8 years, like, I think, yeah, barely anybody. Like my friends, some, but my family. I have a huge family. None of them really supported me, bro. Like,
Right. And that sometimes is one of the biggest hindrances for us, is when our family and friends don't support us. And we have to remember that just because our family and friends are close to us doesn't mean that they're our people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, Raylene is a perfect example. Raylene lives literally on the other side of the world. And, like, she's my people. Most of y'all don't even live on this coast of the country, and yet y'all are my people. So it's just, you just have to give yourself the moment to find, or to allow yourself to find, or for people to come to you. And what I tell Grover all the time is, people can't support you if they don't know what you do. You know, if you don't give yourself the chance to share your journey and your story and your progress and what you're creating, then people will never have a way to support you. Yama says, always take an interest in what your kids are interested in. Absolutely. Baby girl, DJ's thing right now is bowling. Goodness gracious. Child's obsessed. Broshock says, I don't know where to start, but anytime I try to get social or put myself out there, it feels like I'm just doomed to constant failure over and over, and it's kept me from being myself, like around my peers and friends here in my area.
A failure
And
what?
like seeing the place where my house blew up almost daily reminds me that I failed to get everyone out safely except myself. What?
Yeah, but if your house blew up and you got out safely and no one else got out safely, you didn't set a timer for the house to blow up, so you didn't create that situation. So you can't fail at a situation that you did not create or know anything about. So it's not fair to yourself, because
it's not.
You're basically saying that you failed to predict the future.
Mm-hmm. You failed to predict the future and be completely proactive after that prediction. And that's putting a lot of really heavy burden on your shoulders that's really unshakable. Because as long as you believe that you should have or could have done more, you're not going to allow yourself to move forward and live. The reality of the situation is, we are not in control of anything that happens in our lives. We're not in control. What we can do is we can influence the outcome, right? We can influence the progress that we make, but we are not in control. And this is regardless of like what you believe religiously or spiritually or whatever. We are not in control. There are so many factors that influence and impact our lives. Oh, little baby. Yeah, we're not in control, babe. We're absolutely not in control. And some people find that statement deeply terrifying. Other people find it very comforting. And like, I'm deathly afraid to open up because I don't want to burden a potential partner with a shit ton of trauma. Baby boy,
You shouldn't even get with another partner with a shit ton of trauma, do you think?
But that's what therapy and life coaching is for you to unload in a space that is safe, so that when you have those conversations with your partner, you can come from a different place. Because it's unrealistic that we would be completely healed when we find our partner. But what you don't want to do, like you mentioned, and like Grover said, is unleash all of this on a partner because they are the only safe space you have. I am a huge proponent and a deep believer that we need multiple safe spaces in our lives. We cannot just have one person that is our everything. It would not be fair to Grover if every single time I needed to unload, or every single time I was, going through something, that I piled everything on him. I mean, journaling is an incredible outlet. Starting with meditation and moving into journaling. Exercising is an incredible outlet to move energy around. But we have to have multiple safe spaces so that we can breathe, even if we, like, I have my best friend Sabrina is a life coach as well, and she told me that she had a client that journaled 32 pages. She journaled 32 pages after coming to Sabrina and saying, I don't think I can be helped because I've worked with multiple therapists, I've worked with multiple coaches, and I'm convinced that I'm the issue. and I don't think I can be helped. When all she really needed was permission to exist. She journaled 32 pages and then was able to come back to Sabrina in their sessions and have a conversation about it. Have a conversation of the highlights, the lowlights, whatever, and then move forward from there instead of just allowing all of that to just sit and I mean, essentially just weigh in on your body. It's uncomfortable, and it's not good for any of us, you know?
No, it's not good.
But if we are... Bushok says, I am active in therapy in small group settings, and I'm working into the habit of catching this stream in the mornings when I'm able to. I appreciate you, love. And I appreciate this being a safe space for you, and I'm really proud of you for being active in your small group therapy. But just take your time. Just because it may feel like this feeling of, you know, not being able to be comfortable in social settings and things like that, just because it feels like this is suddenly onset, I guarantee you that it's been building up over a while. And what happened to your home is what kind of set that bomb off.
Yeah, because that type of stuff is stuff that gets passed down. It's not something that gets developed. So you probably already had a slight fear of certain things, and then that situation happening made your brain, or made you feel like it was confirming your thoughts. But our whole realities are based off of our independent perceptions. So because of that, we are all literally deciding how bad or good or etc. something or a situation is. Whether, like you saying, like I'm a failure, or I'm not able to do this, like you're speaking that into existence. Like when you're saying to yourself like that you're telling yourself that. It's not a matter of anyone else telling you that, it's you. And like in your head, like when you're in your head, you're like, maybe I can't do this. That's you. Like your brain is not trying to stop you from doing it so much as your fears are starting to come up and speak for you. That's like ego mind. That's survival tactic. Your body, your body, this shell is basically like, hey, like if I do that, like I might not be able to, I might not have the result I want, so I'll go ahead and avoid it. But if you're avoiding situations like that, you probably are also avoiding conversations that you should probably be having, or avoiding thinking about certain things, or thinking certain things through, because we do live in a society where they try to dose you before having you think something through and realize that you probably already had the answer internally, but you just haven't. You never really sat there and thought about the question, or thought about the situation, or analyzed anything. Because I figured a lot of stuff out, and I still figure stuff out on my past life, not based off of just thinking about it a whole bunch of, or anything, so much as one day, just because I'm thinking a little bit different, thinking about the situation again and realizing things from a different perspective that I didn't have.
You got more life under your belt.
Yeah, the maybe the months, years before that. So it's always a daily fight with yourself. Allowing yourself to have that grace and peace and understanding that like you are your muse, like you are your cheerleader in the background. If you don't believe it in a court, or can't get yourself to understand that, like if you don't start to believe it in your own head, it doesn't matter what the situations around you are, because your perception is controlling your situation in the first place.
Yep.
So you won't ask for help if you don't feel like you can be helped. Most people won't ask for help if they don't feel they can be helped, because they tell themselves, I can't be helped. So you're telling yourself you can't be helped, and then you expect to feel someday like you're going to be able to be helped.
Right.
You're fighting against yourself, you know what I mean? So it's like a daily struggle of understanding that, like, those fears aren't supposed to stop you so much as be alerts for you to think through them. Like, what is triggering that fear? Why are you so afraid? Why are you scared?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the questions you should start asking yourself. Like, that's the stuff you need to get down to. You need to understand what the not necessarily what the trigger is, but why you're being triggered first.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why does this upset me? Why does this make me feel like I can't do this? What in that situation is making me feel hindered in being able to get past that hurdle and get whatever I need done? Like for instance, like a lot of people complain about like social media and how social media doesn't work, but they don't post 3 times a day, which is like scientifically now proven to work.
Mm-hmm. And it's always changing, and there's always somebody who's talking about the changes that are being made. You know, like YouTube University is a thing, y'all. Anything that you need to learn, you can find it on YouTube University. And, you know, to his point, not only do we have to believe that we can be helped, we have to believe that there is value in being helped. We have to believe that, you know, as I mentioned before, that it is valuable to be interdependent on those around you. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be the people that you've built a significant relationship with. It could be your therapist. It could be a coach or a teacher or, you know, what have you. Just anybody who you've had conversations with that makes you feel safe and heard and seen, you know. But just as long as it's taken us to develop this belief that, you know, we can't be helped or that we're going to fail, we have to give ourselves that same amount of time to overcome that belief, because our minds are deeply powerful. Deeply powerful. I mean, that's the reason why, you know, your third eye is so... I can't think of another word to use other than powerful, but essentially, whatever we believe, just like Grover said, whatever we believe is going to come to fruition. If you believe that the earth is flat, you will be able to find research that supports that the earth is flat. All you got to do is look for it. So whatever it is that you believe, there's going to be things that come around you that support that belief. So it's not, manifestation is so powerful. Manifestation is extremely powerful.
It's like the people who like, I'm sick, let me look on Google what happened, and they find like 14 different freaking diagnoses.
It's always cancer.
Whatever the scariest one is the one you decide to go with in your head.
I got pancreatic cancer because I got a headache.
Now you calling all your friends and family about what you got instead of going to a doctor.
Talking about you dying. You have no information to support that you're dying other than the Google thing that says, if you get a headache, yes, it's always cancer. If you had a headache 2 days in a row, I'm pretty sure you have cancer. And I mean, that's not to say that you definitely should look into, according to WebMD, I should have died in 1893. I'm done. I'm so done. But it's true. Manifestation is so important. The scariest thing about being a human is realizing how powerful your thoughts are. And the fact that we as humans don't often separate our thoughts from ourselves. Our thoughts are not always true. Our thoughts are not always fact. And once we can realize that by example, you know, sometimes this really comes to challenging our beliefs, because there are certain things that we believe that actually can be disproved with fact, you know, like you could take like superstitions, like cultural superstitions, right? Like, okay, black culture, right? Everybody and their mama in black culture washes their chicken. Everybody does. Everybody. Now, growing up, I don't eat chicken anymore, but I used to wash my chicken. I used to take my chicken out the package and wash it in the sink. Now, I was really just rinsing it off. But some people wash their chicken with vinegar or like lemon. She said, oh, no, not the superstitions. Baby girl, yes, we're getting into it.
The superstitions are traditions.
Yes.
Traditions are passed down.
Exactly.
So thought processes are passed down. So this is also programming of the mind.
But it has been scientifically proven that it is, what's the word?
Hispanics are still trying to heal people with 7-Up.
Right, exactly. I've heard of the vinegar and lemon just a few days ago. Hispanics sweep out the door on New Year's Eve to let out all the bad stuff and bad vibes. Unsanitary. Thank you, Bro Shocks.
African Americans.
That's the word.
There's so many, like,
I don't got science for that one.
African Americans believe.
And ginger ale.
Yeah, African Americans believe ginger ale saves everything.
Ginger ale and crackers will save your life. And Robitussin. But anywho, it has been scientifically proven.
If your throat's destroyed, it's gotta be lemon and lemon tea.
Yep, lemon tea.
Lemon and honey.
Exactly. It's been scientifically proven that washing your chicken is unsanitary. Why? Because chicken contains bacteria, and that bacteria dies. That's the reason why you have to cook meat to a certain temperature, is to ensure that all of the bacteria and everything that are associated with that meat die and you don't consume it. That's the whole purpose. Now, if you are washing chicken in your sink and you are not disinfecting your sink afterwards, then all those little bacterium and microbials and diddly bops could potentially spread to everything, and hashtag salmonella. That's how you get sick, fam. That's how you get sick. Now, washing in vinegar and lemon, great. It's just there's no benefit to it. Now, I can understand from a taste perspective how that could potentially change the taste of the chicken. I never done it before, so I don't know. But I can understand from that perspective. But as far as cleaning the chicken, that's not a thing. But again, this is right. Hashtag salmonella. Just like my husband said, these are traditions which are passed down from generation to generation. Like, I guarantee that my mom, when she teaching my niece or my nephews or, you know, anybody how to cook, she's going to instruct them to clean their chicken. And unless they question it or go look it up, they're going to just do it. Like, it's just something that's going to happen. Voltaire says, I grew up in South Central. I thought it was weird when people didn't wash their chicken. Bruce Talk said, ginger ale and the little sandwich crackers are bomb AF. You're not wrong, Bro Shocks. You're not wrong. They are bomb. But think about it. The premise behind ginger ale is ginger. Do y'all know what ginger tastes like?
I bet they don't.
Because ginger ale don't taste like ginger.
Matter of fact,
ginger ale tastes kind of like apple cider.
Ginger ale don't got no ginger in it.
It sure don't.
So if you drinking ginger ale.
Now, if you want to mix like hot, yes, ginger is like.
I love ginger.
It's like spicy.
Yeah.
It's a spice, and it will have you. It'll get you right. Now, if you really want to, yeah, that's what it tastes like. It tastes hot. If you really want to make some ginger ale, go get some. What's that sparkling drink that we just got in the bottle? I thought
Topo
it was in a
Chico.
can. Yeah, get some Topo Chico. Get yourself some I forget what the little things of ginger are called, knuckles or whatever of ginger. Juice it. Put that in some Topo Chico.
Ginger beer is real.
Ginger beer is real. Ginger beer has real ginger.
Actually, ginger beer is probably way healthier for you than taking a ginger ale when you're sick, because ginger beer is brewed down ginger.
Yes.
Like
if you watch how, I think it was like a TikTok of like Jamaicans making ginger beer.
Like, it's real ginger.
It's
beer.
legit a ton of ginger. Yeah, it's just ginger.
Yeah.
And ginger beer is non-alcoholic, right?
No, it's not alcoholic.
So there you go.
But it's bomb.
No ginger ale, all ginger beer. Thank you, Raylene, for nodes. I drank that one time and almost died. What happened, Fergie? Not the ginger beer taking you out. I've heard of ginger beer in passing. It's honestly, it's like one of those things. It is. It's been around for a really long time, but it's not super, super popular. Like, if you go to the grocery store, it's in the beer section, first of all.
It's an island thing.
Which already kind of throws people off. Yeah, it's definitely an island thing.
There's a reason for that, too.
Because it's called beer?
No, because people mix ginger ale with rum.
Ginger ale or ginger beer?
Ginger beer, I mean.
Oh, okay. But yeah, next time you're sick, ginger beer.
Yeah, it's like Hawaii tonic is right next to the alcohol.
Yeah, that makes sense. Anywho, how did we get here, y'all? Oh, I was saying, oh, I thought it was ginger ale and took a big swallow. No, Fergie! You weren't going to die, girl. You was going to be healed.
It healed
From
you.
the toes to your scalp.
It healed you.
From your toes to your scalp, you's going to be healed.
Tricked you into taking medicine.
Oh my goodness. I was healed. Raylene says, in the UK, we are very friendly with alcohol. And so ginger beer is popular here, even though it has no alcohol. Yeah, I feel that, really. And you know what?
You guys also have islanders and Africans in the UK.
Yeah, y'all
and
do.
we like ginger beer.
Right. Y'all are less discriminatory. Because let's be honest.
I love ginger beer.
Americans love beer.
No,
Like
yeah, by
beer.
the way.
They love
we're
beer.
in the U.S., bro. Like, beer. We built this country.
I know ginger is in a lot of Indian cuisine and African cuisine. It is. Especially like curries. But ginger is bomb. Like, ginger is really, really, really good for your body. When we talk about, damn, ginger ale is the bee's knees. Bruh. Ginger ale don't taste like nothing.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, it does, but it don't taste like ginger. Like, you have to know what ginger is.
It do.
Tummy ache relief instant. It's not the ginger ale that's relieving your tummy. It's the bubbles.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just the carbonation that's relieving your tummy ache. Yeah. That's all, baby. It's not the ginger
yeah, ginger deals
ale.
with inflammation.
Exactly. But like when it comes to life hack, when it comes to healing foods, ginger, garlic, onion, honey, what else?
Turmeric is the strongest.
Not the life hack.
Yeah, bro. Like ginger and turmeric are extremely strong. Like what is it called?
Say it again.
Ginger and turmeric. Oh, they're good for stopping inflammation. Mm-hmm. Like really, really, really good.
Yeah, honey is the bomb. Honey. And anybody over the age of 1 can have honey.
Honey can't.
Turmeric will dye everything yellow if you aren't careful. That's very true. Be very careful with your turmeric.
Yeah, they used to use it for dye. Turmeric
is used in so many remedies and skincare, exactly. But honey slaps. Rayleigh, I love you so much. When it comes to turmeric on your skin, be sure that if you're very fair, yeah, they still use it for dye. If you are very fair, your skin will be dyed like yellow with turmeric. So just, it's not gonna say forever, but just, you know, be aware. Like I did make.
It may.
I made a.
It may be forever.
I made a turmeric like face mask or something one time.
Your face was yellow.
Or no. It was a turmeric mask that I had purchased, and I was like mixing it together with my hands. Yeah, my fingertips were yellow for a couple days. Yeah, turmeric does stain. It absolutely does. And you know, it's for a reason. If you're trying to dye something, if you're trying to dye something yellow, naturally, hit that turmeric. Anywho, said all that to say, I think my initial comment was that fears can be something could be disproved scientifically. I don't remember what it was, but anywho. To answer today's question, yes, it is possible to overcome a fear of failure. As my husband has mentioned a few times, one of the biggest things is just confronting it and becoming aware of what's driving that fear. Because sometimes, depending on the underlying reason, you know, like sometimes it's that comparison, like Fergie mentioned. Sometimes it's feeling guilty for not being, oh my goodness, this is a beautiful one. Feeling guilty for not being more successful sooner, like earlier in your life. Because everything in our society tells us that, you know, by the age of 30, we're supposed to have everything figured out. I'm going to be 31 next week. Grover is 34. We ain't got shit figured out. Well, we got some figured out.
I'm 35 in 2 months.
We got a little bit figured out. But, it's not, and when I tell y'all, like when Grover mentioned how many jobs he's had in just completely different areas, when I tell y'all that I'm working on a 3rd college degree and none of my degrees are related, I don't think y'all hear me. I don't think y'all understand. I'm going to be 40 and I still don't have shit figured out. And that's okay. You know, like it is okay to be whatever age you are and not have it figured out. My mom she'll be 63 next year. She ain't got nothing figured out. Right. The only thing my mom knows for a fact, she knows what she's good at. That's true. And I know what I'm good at. I know Grover and I are the same when it comes to this aspect. We are absolutely amazing at anything we do. All we have to do is apply ourselves. That's it. Doesn't matter what it is.
And believe you can do it.
And believe you can do it. That's it. It doesn't matter what it is. If I went into being a veterinarian right now, I'd be phenomenal. If I went into engineering right now, I'd be phenomenal. If I went into, I don't know, being an MC, y'all know I got the stage presence. You know, I could do it. Yes, I could. I could do it. I mean, it would take a lot of practice, you know, but I could do it. It took a lot of therapy, healthy friendships, and solid advice to get me past that stigmatizing. I don't know why I fumbled that. Raylene says, I wish people would focus and attention on people at any age. They are instead of... I wish people would focus and attention on people at any age they are instead of not caring after 30. Right. Gotta value life at all life.
It's because you're not as marketable and you're not as consumable after like a certain age.
Mm-hmm.
So they can get a lot more money and influence out of someone younger.
Right.
Than you, because by the time you get older, you're starting to think for yourself, and that's not good for business.
30 to 50 is prime. 30 to 50 is absolutely prime.
Yeah, it's not good for money. Like, so instead, they're gonna sell you stuff for your health.
Right. Don't you hate it when you roll out of bed and your knees ache?
They're gonna wait till you're in pain and then sell you.
Try the shake weight.
I'm telling you, that's how it is.
Let's make everyone marketable. Why should under 25 be prime? I agree. It's because
they'll buy anything.
Because of the fact that they know that people under 25, I mean all of us, people under 25 are even less likely to have stuff figured out. So of course they're going to buy anything.
Bro, how much did you save at 25 years old? You gave all your money to them.
Right. Under 25 is prime for athleticism. I mean, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. That's true. That's true for most things.
But that's basically it.
I mean, it's definitely prime if you don't take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And you're not staying in shape, because you don't have to be buff or anything, but if you're in shape, I'm telling you, like, I have really old family that still walk around and move and do stuff.
Wait a minute. Voltaire says, I would say that, but at 32, I keep up my hoop skills with kids in high school and JUCO.
See?
Okay, Voltaire. I'm trying to ball with you.
Yeah, because I got aunts that are a little bit more...
motivates me to hit the gym every day.
They're a little bit more in shape now than they were when they were younger.
Right.
And I
Some
think
older people are mad athletic, though.
And I think that's based off of understanding consistency. Like, you use it and your body will make it usable.
Exactly.
If you don't use it, then your body says, oh, you don't need this, so I ain't got to do nothing with it.
Voltaire says the gym helps my mental health, but I'm pretty sweet at basketball. I'm not going to lie. I just can't dunk yet. Yo, Voltaire, when I tell you that I used to play pickup games when I was in college, my first college degree, I used to play pickup games at 24-hour fitness. No, LA Fitness, whatever gym I was at. And oh my goodness, like I went to the gym and no,
it's a workout.
I weight trained, but basketball was, and every person there underestimated me. But when I tell y'all that there's always these old dudes with like the biggest bellies in the world who can shoot the ball from literally anywhere on the court. She breathing Symphony.
My dad.
Shoot the ball from anywhere on the court.
My dad's really, 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 really good at basketball.
Is he still?
Yeah. He doesn't even have to move.
Even though
he just shoots. No.
He doesn't even have to move.
He really just shoots.
Bruchak said, I've seen people that were severely overweight in high school and now they're fit and healthy. Absolutely.
My dad was overweight and beating us in basketball.
Wait a minute. Hold on. What? Look at Symphony. She looking cute. She looking real mystical. She giving, what's that movie? Avatar vibes?
Possession vibes.
Possession?
Yeah.
She don't look possessed. It's those eyeballs. I don't know what to do with them eyeballs. Thank you for breeding her, Fergie. She cute. She real cute. Those people inspire me. And just real quick disclosure, I want y'all to remember that just because someone looks a certain way physically does not mean they're healthy. Point blank period. I'm gonna just leave that there, cause it don't. Soccer is mad dope. That cardio though, I know. The Fergie genes are amazing. I know, right, Fergie? You always breed her and make her look cute. You be doing the same thing for Jones's dragon. You made Jones's dragon look adorable with the little ubu eyes.
I have a completely different reason for breeding.
I know, you just be messing with them.
I try to make him look as nasty as possible.
Facts. I played a heavy dude once in high school. He jumped higher than all of us. Exactly. Health has nothing, well, very little to do with how you look physically.
I went to track meet. I used to run national track, and right after high school, I went to a track meet. It was kind of like open, like you can just sign up for it.
Jonesy.
So I signed up for the 100-meter dash. I was like, no one's gonna beat me here in a 100-meter dash. My time was like 10.02 at the time, so I was like, I'm good. Like, no one's gonna beat me.
You said it was 10-2?
10.02.
Ooh, almost 10 flat.
And I remember there was like this super old dude, this old white dude. He was like 60, and he just came in. He had his little like tracksuit. He didn't talk to nobody. And then I realized he's putting on his shoes and realized his shoes cost more than all of our shoes combined. And we were just like, oh, okay, yeah. And then he sat and he got next to me. And he like did that whole thing where you had the rip off pants. He was like, and he had like freaking like super short shorts, and they're all like all lightning bolts all over them.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, what is happening? And I've never been dusted by a 6-year-old person before. But it was so crazy to be sitting there running and then keep turning to the right and see this old man looking back at me and passing me and passing me. And I'm like, bro, this is what I do. Like, I have 2-3 practices a day. Like, this is my life. And he just burned me like it wasn't my life anymore.
Track was life.
And let me know.
Went from track is life to track was life.
And it just let me know that,
oh my
you know,
goodness.
age ain't always a factor if you're in shape. Because I talked to him after the meet and found out that he grew up in like Slovakia or something like that, and he used to run track there as a kid, and he ran fast enough to run for the Olympics back when he was like in his 20s. But so he was like, yeah, like he said he ran with Olympians in Slovakia and stuff like that. He showed me pictures. The dude had medals.
No big deal.
I'm gonna find his name because I remember, because like I have pictures with him somewhere, but like he had pictures of like medals. Like the man had won like 2 silver medals at the Olympics for a 100-meter dash. I'm
That's
like,
insane. Yeah.
But he was just a regular guy who just decided to go to a meet just to run, just so he could keep his running ability up. Just dusting little kids.
No, you were in high school, right?
Dusting children. I was a child. And that's fear. That's fear of failure. See.
Right. Stop. Don't try and connect the dots.
Because I felt that I was gonna win, and then I was scared. I was like, "Why does he look like he's
dusting children?" No. Jones, welcome in, Boo Boo Bear. But yes, Fergie, anytime you see Jones's dragon look all cracked out, Grover did it. He absolutely did. And like, I don't even know how he's so consistent with it, but he does.
And after he crushed my dreams, I continued
exactly
to run track for a little longer, but then realized I'm done.
No.
I quit.
No. Raylene says practice is everything. Well, good practice, which doesn't have to be 91,717 hours. As long as you have refined and productive practice, you can literally do anything.
I was refined and productive. And still got dusted by this old man.
I completely agree. And I love this story. Every time Grover tells it, I love it so much because, I mean, you ain't got to get ready when you stay ready, right? So, like, Grover was ready, but just think about how much more experience, you know, this older man had, you know, how much more life he had under his belt. You know, there's certain things that only life can prepare you for. There's certain things that only experiencing things can prepare you for. And I think that's a way that we should approach failure. You know, you have to go through it in order to improve. Like, you have to go through tons of failed relationships before you... Hello?
Oh, that reminds me.
Before you meet your Grover, you gotta fail.
Yeah, after that...
You gotta some shit up.
After that race was right before I was going to go to CIF. So, or state championships. So, that happened. And I remember after talking to him, he taught me a certain way that he would keep his feet like separated in order basically to come out of the starting blocks, and I was already the fastest starter on my team. But he taught me something that day that made me way faster off of the line.
There you go.
But I had to lose though.
Mm-hmm.
I had to really lose in order to get this information.
Not just lose, but really lose. What was his time?
It was what 10 point no it was 9.999 10.99.
Would you run that day? Do you remember?
10.1 it's like 10.16 or 10.17 or something like
Which
that.
is still so damn solid.
But,
And I mean,
see, if I ran that next time, I ran 10.02. That was the
there
next.
you go.
That was my next time because of just a slight change in my form.
Right. That's what I'm saying, Raylene. The fact that he can remember the exact numbers. I tell you, this man.
Bro,
like,
I used to really run though.
this
Like,
man-
I had 22 medals.
You know the funniest thing about it though? If you ask Grover to do math, he will punch you in the face. Like, he will get so upset. He don't want to do math. But the way that he can remember numbers and remember certain things, it blows my mind. But also, to his story and to his point, if y'all, and I don't know if it's changed because, you know, not that we old or anything, but
No, it's the same.
when we were in high school, you know, running a 10
That's a lot.
as on a 100-meter dash, that was solid. Like, that was strong. So the fact that he ran a 10.16 and was upset because he lost, you know what I mean? Like, is that really failure just because you lost to one person? Because we have to also be aware of the fact that just because one person beats you doesn't mean that you failed. There's so much room in our world for all of us to succeed, right? Like, competition does exist, and competition is healthy, I believe. I definitely believe that it's healthy, but it can't be like a one winner take all kind of situation. Like, I am not the only life coach on the planet. I have friends that are life coaches. Brittany's a life coach. My best friend Sabrina's a life coach, but I don't feel like me having them on my stream or me having conversations with them is going to take away from me connecting with clients. Why? Because we're all different. We all bring a different vibe. We all bring a different perspective. We all bring different life experiences, and that's what contributes to our coaching. That's what contributes to the conversations that we have with people and the way that we connect with people. Right, it can't be an obsession like Fergie says.
Oh yeah.
It has to just be like,
That anything like that becomes your god.
yeah,
Like,
and that's
you're worshiping whatever you. That's a hard thing for music for me too, because I can get there easily.
Yeah, quickly and almost like seamlessly. Like,
And
it almost happens.
I won't even be here.
It almost happens too easily. And, you know, that's something that I recognize about Grover, and I recognize very early on in our relationship, is that,
Yeah, I do. I praise it.
excuse me, huh?
I do. I praise it.
No, not that. The fixation of, you know what I mean? And so a part of it for him that I've noticed is his, which Raylene and I were talking about it too, and her inspiration and ability to essentially like tap in.
Yeah.
Sometimes tapping in it's not instant.
No.
You know, but that's what happens when you're a creative. And so
once you're in.
exactly, once you're in. But that's why it's so beneficial, like as he walked us through his journey, to be able to approach it from different aspects. Because again, let's say I say, okay, Grover, go produce right now. And he's like, what? And he's not there in that frame of mind. There are other things that he can do to support him in the journey. Yeah, it's not only to get you there, but also to help with remaining consistent and remaining disciplined. Okay, I'm not in the frame of mind to produce a beat right now. How about writing? Okay, I'm not in the frame of mind to write right now. Let me browse SoundCloud or whatever for some inspiration. You know what I mean? Like, let me hop on Twitch and see. I mean, Twitch is a little bit more difficult for producers because
It helps.
It's
Sometimes
not-
when I hear people in the background, it helps me.
yeah, but you know, there are different facets to that contribute to your overall journey. Like for me, if I'm not in the mood of creating content, even though I be doing it, like I just be making stuff real fast. For me, it's the less preparation, the better. The less I jot down bullet points and things like that, the better. However, sometimes it works to my detriment because sometimes I do need to plan things out and, you know, hold myself accountable for staying on a specific path or whatever. Like, I've mentioned before, there have been times in which I've started businesses or creative endeavors and whatnot. And I had to realize that, okay, I'm giving all these people all this valuable information. You know, I'm teaching people how to work out. I'm teaching people how to practice yoga. But I'm not giving anybody the opportunity to pay me. I'm not giving anybody the opportunity to work with me. So even though it feels like, or it seems like I'm doing all this work and I'm being so consistent, and I was posting 3 times a day, I wasn't actually moving in the direction that I wanted to move in. I was like really just hitting it on the surface. I was playing it super, super, super safe because I was afraid that if I started doing the things and it doesn't work, what's going to happen? Raylene says, yeah, being in the mindset is hard. Finding ways to get in can take a while, but it is so worth it. Exactly. It absolutely is. Right. You got to full send. You have to. You have to full send. And, like, there are times when the creative juices come over me and I just flow with it. Like, I do my best not to overthink it. Like, why is this happening right now? Shouldn't I be doing something else? Nah, I just try and go with it. I just go with it. It's okay, Fergie Boo.
She said it can't.
Right. She's like, I need to reiterate that it can't be an obsession. I don't think y'all hear me. It can't be an obsession. I don't know how the baby did that. It's just the way babies work, boo. It's just the way babies work. Okay. We are getting into the 1 hour, 15-minute mark. I don't want to leave y'all, though, so I think I'm going to end this really quickly and start right back up and play some games or something.
And just be right back. What do you need to do?
Well, but I gotta... Well, I guess I don't have to end it for YouTube, huh? I could just clip it? Okay, cool. Let me put a little placemaker so that I know that this is where it ends. Alright, YouTube. This is where the video will end. For those of y'all in the chat, don't go nowhere. But if you're catching this replay on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just do it. If you want to support me in other ways, you can buy some merch. My birthday is next Thursday, January 5th. Just buy some merch. Just do it. I'm going to be creating some new stuff, so just do it. Yeah, you better subscribe. You better subscribe. I know, my birthday literally just creeped up on me. Right, subscribe or else I'm going to send Raylene after you. Raylene don't play games. There's my YouTube channel. Here's my Etsy shop. Okay. So for you YouTube people, peace out. I'm out.